When Miss Ginsburg said that, she really hit the nail on the head. My name is Kyle and welcome to the channel. This video we're going to talk to you about Colin Kaepernick and the backdrop which happened with Tim Tebow coming back into the league and how the left is going crazy and they just want to bring Kaepernick back into the debate. Why? I don't know. They just love the guy. But I'm going to talk to you about why this is going on and the response that Jason Whitlock gave to destroy this leftist. It's really fantastic. But the bulk of this video is going to be me showing you why Kaepernick is nothing but a communist, low-down, socialist, American-hating dude. That's what he is. That's what he is. He's a commie. So we're going to talk about this, and we're going to start with Twitter. This guy here, his name is the Black Adam Shifter. I'm guessing this dude's black, and I'm guessing he's also a socialist leftist, commie. Pretty safe bet there. What do you think? We'll go with that. He tweets here, Tebow hasn't played in NFL since 2012. Gets another shot. Kaepernick hasn't played since 2016. Gets nothing. What's the difference? Can't seem to put my finger on it. All right, that's what he says. All right, now I'm going to break this down individually after I show you what Jason Whitlock of Outkick.com, formerly of Fox Sports 1, formerly, and he's also a black man, which is important to say because if he was white, then he wouldn't have a voice in this. But no, Whitlock is a black man. Sad times we live in. But the first observation for me is number one, Kaepernick is kneeling because he hates America and the military and the police. And Tebow is praying to his God. He's praying to his savior. Okay, that's the difference. How do I know? Well, number one, I was there. I saw these things happen as it was happening. But also, there's a pylon there, which means he's in the end zone and not on the sideline, which is when the national anthem is played. Teams are on the sidelines. So, clear difference, clear distinctions. Let's hear what Mr. Whitlock has to say about this. One wants to play football. One blackmailed the NFL into a settlement and blew off a workout. Gets nothing. He took a cash buyout, martyrdom, Nike shoe deal, and the Angela Davis starter kit. Boom. Totally kills it with that response. He hits every single point you want to hit to respond to that stupid tweet that this guy puts forth. Totally conflating everything that happened in real life. That's a fantasy that he has there below. So I'm going to start by going through this. The settlement he's referring to is NFL settled money out of court because they felt that he's wrongfully terminated or whatever it was. They gave him a cash buyout. For what? For what? Then Nike gave him a shoe deal. A shoe deal. So you remember this foolishness? He gets this money in this Nike deal here where it says believe in something even if it means sacrificing everything. Total baloney. And then of course he did the workout that he had. NFL set up a workout for him. He blew it off, did his own thing. Totally dissed the NFL. He doesn't want to play. Okay. And then there's times where he got on the podium wearing a Castro shirt, which is totally disrespectful to Cuban Americans everywhere, to Americans everywhere, because Castro was a communist. And we want to know why this is. Have you ever thought of why this is? And I wasn't even sure about this until I did a little digging. And I found this article by The Federalist. These guys have an article here about how Marxism fueled the national anthem protest at football games. It's a very good article. And I'm going to actually maybe do something more on this. I can't just leave this with just one video. I got to do more on this, but to unpack this would take a lot longer. But however, in the context of what Colin Kaepernick is doing, I'm reading the parts here that are in yellow and comment on it. And you just see how the past comes to life. We see now all these woke athletes coming up. This is nothing new. This has been going on for decades. And it's just so clear and it ties right back to the founder of the communist movement, Karl Marx. Listen to this. When Kaepernick, a quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, refused to stand for the national anthem in 2016, he probably had no idea what he was starting. But Kaepernick also had no idea where his own ideas originated. Like so many left-wing beliefs, Kaepernick's intellectual odyssey begins with the 19th century German philosopher Karl Marx. Karl Marx believed in a struggle between the oppressor, evil, and the oppressed, good. We've mentioned this many times, okay? that when you have this black liberation mentality, you see the world through a lens of oppression. And everyone who's brown or dark skinned is the good guys because they're oppressed, right? And you see that same paradigm all around the world. Okay. And that's what they're coming forth. That's where you see that with the 1619 Project and also this critical race theory. Same thing. It's this idea, this humanist socialist idea that is really, really dangerous. That's killed over 100 million people over the last century. Okay. He argued specifically for a veiled civil war. And for Marxists, the oppressed and exploited must be taught that they are the victims. Have you ever heard that before? For Marxists, the oppressed and exploited must be taught that they are the victims. They then begin, sometimes peacefully, sometimes violently, to challenge and change the existing oppressive social culture. This article is fantastic. Kaepernick and millions of others who sympathize with him have never read Marx. Never read Marx. And so I got into a debate this week about this. Not this exactly, but it was a meme about Kaepernick, okay? A really stupid meme. So I basically highlighted it and said, hey, you got your facts wrong. Police brutality is not what you think it is. I rattled off some stats. I'll play some in a second here. I did a clip for that. I said, Kaepernick kneeled initially because he was benched for a white guy, a guy named Blaine Gabbert. Go look at that. When he was interviewed, it turned it into police brutality because I think in his own mind, he probably felt that sounds stupid. So I did this thing, and I'm gonna play this video clip I did here this week to show you why black people in this country are not victimized by the police. Check this out.
Blacks commit nearly 3 times the crime of white people. Blacks commit 36% of violent crimes here in America, but make up only 13% of the population. The parity of blacks in the UK and blacks in America proves that there is no systemic or institutional racism here in America, and that the judicial system is not unfairly targeting blacks. In 2020, the USA Today did an extensive study proving that 99% of cops are actually good and law-abiding. In 2020, 18 unarmed black men were shot by police. A recent study by University of Delaware Criminal Justice Department found that some black communities are predisposed to what they call violent subculture theory, meaning that they are more tolerant in these communities by their culture for crime and violence. Even if we remove all shootings by police in America, the black murder rate would still be 99%. And guess what? 93% of that would be at the hands of another black person. If you want to blame somebody, blame the Democrat Party's Jim Crow laws, FDR's redlining, LBJ's war on poverty, Biden's 1994 crime bill. Anyone telling you that there's systemic targeting of blacks by police in America is lying to you.
Those are good talking points. Good talking points. And we have all the documentation for that video on our website and on our YouTube channel. You'll see the link there below as well. So that's the deal. And that's what the mentality they're coming with. And that's how you can combat that. But here's the deal. This is not the first time this is happening. Okay. This has been going back way back. So if you look back to people like W.E.B. Du Bois, Langston Hughes, C.L.R. James, and George Padmore, all use Marxist ideas to explain racial justice in America, empathizing, struggle, and oppression. There's a lot to unpack there as well. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to keep going. But this is nothing new. That's the point. You come forward to the 60s. You come forward to the next generation, Angela Davis, Huey Newton, and Harry Edwards. You'll see this is nothing new. Harry Edwards is actually a mentor of Colin Kaepernick. Here he is right here. This is Harry Edwards. I'm sure you've seen him before. He's that dude that you've seen on every single documentary dealing with race in the NFL. But this guy, I didn't realize who he really was. His own writing reveals Marx's influence. He titled his autobiography, The Struggle That Must Be. In this work, Edwards applied Marxist ideas to athletics, because in his mind, athletics and society are inexorably bound. He writes, any attack upon the sports institution of society is intuitively and widely regarded as an attack upon the most central, preeminent values and beliefs of that society. The black athlete, continues Edwards, must revolt in the name of freedom and equality. He argues, the revolt of the black athlete is a phase of the black liberation movement. That liberation movement is really important. Again, a lot to unpack there, but it's that, again, thinking the world is racist and you are the victim, you're the hero, everyone else who is white is the bad guy, okay, the oppressor. Since Marxists and quasi-Marxists don't only find potential converts in the classroom, Edwards has roamed the sidelines of the 49ers games for decades and formed a close friendship with Kaepernick, whom Edwards says he advises. Kaepernick acknowledges Dr. Edwards is a good friend. He sometimes I talk to and run a lot of things by and have lots of conversations with. Edwards returns the compliment. He, Kaepernick, is evolving through an awakening. And when the Kaepernick apologist brigade comes around and says, he's not really talking about America, he's talking about the police and the brutality. Well, even if he was, that clip I just showed you, there's no oppression there. There's no systemic attacks by police on black people. No. But even his own quote here, he says, I'm not going to stand up and show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. What a stupid, idiotic thing to say, especially in this day and age right now. Makes no sense. But you look at all the money that he's getting, all the prestige he's getting, and the martyrdom that he's getting, makes perfect sense. Finally, it says here, Kaepernick and most of his supporters may not realize it, but the real origins of their ideas lie in a 19th century German thinker, a white man, by the way, and racist, by the way, who interpreted the world as the struggle between oppressors and the oppressed. It just baffles me how these people can come back and say these things with impunity and have no idea what they're talking about. It really is a shame. So my question is to you, what do you think about all this? I know I covered a lot of information here. I'm going to do a deeper dive, I'm sure, on this because that article is just awesome. It tells you everything you need to know about what's going on right now and why Kaepernick is going on, and also a little bit why the media is fawning all over him. They just love this Marxist stuff, man. They love it. If you like we do in this channel, we take pop culture and politics and filter it to you in a conservative manner. In other words, filter it to you right. Then please click the like and subscribe button and that bell icon so you don't miss any future content. We have a join button there too, so you can figure out how to do that if you want to support this channel. As always, please check out some content that we have right